Hello everyone, this is Gage from Gondorian Smith, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys another 3rd Age Reforged online multiplayer battle replay. Now this one is a 3 versus 3 on the 0.97 test patch, so that was very cool that we were able to get enough players to actually have a 3v3. And this one actually has all human factions. We've got Arthedain, Rudour, Gondor, Dale, Dol Amroth, and Rohan, and I believe that was mainly due to the fact that currently we're trying to test out some more of these human factions, which is why all of us picked human factions. Although, of course, it could have just been pure coincidence as well. But anyway, that's kind of beside the fact. We'll go ahead and start off with the arm comps, beginning up here with Rudour, who's being played by Engsvitz. Up here, he's got 2 units here of the Rudour Cold Fell Maidens, of course, Javelin Cavalry. Very good anti-cav unit. Pretty decent in melee as well. Or off the charge, rather, too, I guess I should say. I guess all cavalry is pretty decent off the charge, but that's kind of beside the fact. He's got them going to be really good at sniping enemy cavalry, particularly units like the Knights of Innas over here. In addition to this, he's got 2 units of the Rudour Marksmen up on this nice hill here, or at least one of them is. Not great in terms of damage, but they have a lot of men in the unit, and they'll be able to at least draw some enemy skirmish fire as well to waste a bit of ammo. Actually, take the back. He might actually have 3 units of Rudour Marksmen. Yeah, it looks like 3 units of them. My bad. He's got a couple units of the Rudour Clansmen with the armor upgrade. You can see the nice fancy black and red and yellow shields. His main line consists of 2 units of the Harenadine Pikemen as well as 2 units of Rudour Swordsmen. Of course, the pikes and swords should do decent against the pikes and swords of Arthedain. In addition to this, he's got 2 units of the AP Javelins that are the Ettenmoor's Troll Hunters. He's got a unit of the Harenadine Nobles, very good AP, multiple HP Lancer Cav. Not quite Knights, but still very, very good. He's also down here got some more Rudour Clansmen. And it looks like that's about it for his army composition. Down here, we've got myself playing as Gondor with their very fancy new unit models, although I'm sure you've seen them before by now. I've got some Ithilien Rangers here. Of course, the BP Rangers are always going to be good, especially because they're up here on this nice hilled position. I've got a unit here of the Nimlothian Honor Guard, Sword and Shield, or sorry, Spear and Shield rather, but they are AP, because they are a 1200 costing unit. They also have multiple HP and can inspire the units around them, and they have a few more men than other elites to boot. I've got 2 units of the fully upgraded Gondor Archers. I've got my front line here that consists of 2 units of the fully upgraded Axemen of Lossarnach mixed in with 2 units of the fully upgraded Gondor Spearmen. So a very nice, well-armored line. The AP is going to do the damage while the Spears will be able to hold back for quite some time. Then here I've got another unit of the Spearmen as well as a unit of the Axemen. And then back here in my rear line, I've got 2 units of Fountain Guard mixed in with 2 units of Standard Sword and Shield Gondor Infantry. And for my Cavalry, I've got 1 unit of the Mithrander's Retinue Bodyguard with Armor Upgrade and Attack Upgrade. That's going to be my General's Bodyguard unit today. You can see him back there. And I've also got a unit of the Pinnith Gillen Lancer Cav, also with an Armor Upgrade and an Attack Upgrade as well. Gondor, of course, not very strong in the Cavalry department, but these 2 guys should work pretty well as long as you use them sparingly, because, of course, I only do have 2 units of Cavalry. My last ally over here is going to be Rohan, commanded by FFA Muffins. He's got 2 units of the Rittermark Archers. Of course, Rohan also has been given a lot of new unit model changes. The Rittermark Archers actually do have an armor upgrade variant as well, and they look very, very cool with the armor upgrade. Unfortunately, he did not bring the armor upgrade today, but that is alright nevertheless. Still a very good archer, or cheap archer unit. Back here, he's also got 2 units of Helmingos. Again, pretty standard Rohan archers. Not going to do super great, all things considered, as a archer unit, but they do have decent armor plus a shield value, and they can get the job done when it counts really as archers. He's got 3 units of the new and improved Eastmark Spearmen. These guys actually are a spear and javelin hybrid now. I believe they have 3 javelin volleys, so they can get some nice damage off before they get into melee. And of course, in melee, they're not going to be doing super great because they are a very, very cheap low-tier militia spear unit. Back there, he's got 1 unit of the Shield Maidens of Rohan, of course, as well as a unit of the Meduzeld Guard. He's got some First Marshal's Bodyguard here. Not quite Knights, but still they have multiple HP, good armor, good shield, and good charge and all that. And of course, you can't really bring a Rohan army without bringing the Sons of Aoril here as well. Very, very good Knight unit. Down here, he's also got a unit of the Red Shield of Erkenbrand Horse Archers, as well as a unit of the Standard Eastmark Horse Archers. And then back here, he's got a lot, I think maybe 2 or 3 units of the basically middle tier Lancer unit that is the Rittermark Cavalry. That'll pretty much do it for the army comps of my team. We'll now go over here to the other team, the red team, I guess we could call it. Over here, we've got the first of them, which is going to be Inarius, playing as Dol Amroth. He's got some Knights of the Silver Swan here, as well as some Paired Hill Riders, some good horse archers that Dol Amroth has now added, that has now been added to their roster. Very good horse archers as far as human horse archers go, and very well armored as well. He's got a couple units of the Ed Helland men at arms. He's got some Dor en Ernil pikemen as well as some Dor en Ernil swordsmen. He's also got, of course, the Knights of Cobas Haven, previously known as the Haven Knights, I believe. He's also got another unit of the Paired Hill Riders, as well as the second Knight unit that Dol Amroth can bring, the Aerotherum of Dol Amroth. Back here, he's also got a unit of the Belfast Marines, the Paired Hill Champions. Not a super elite two-handed sword unit. Sorry, like they don't have hit points or anything, but they are very scary. They got good armor, they've got good attack, and I believe they can instill fear in dismounted enemies, as well as the Guards of Cobas Haven, previously known as the Haven Guard. Of course, a very scary unit indeed. Over here we go to the second army, which is going to be Dale, commanded by Steel Unit. He's got a unit of the melee cavalry, that is the Earls, as well as a unit of Lancers down there, that is the Dalian cavalry. He's got the Morroquindi bows with their poison arrows, as well as the Blackshot Dragon Slayers for his general's bodyguard. 2 units of Dalian marksmen, 2 units of Barding Herd with a unit of the dismounted Earls in between. So all the AP should do really well against my own Gondor force. His mainline consists of 3 units of the cheap Lake Town pikemen mixed in with 3 units of cheap Dalian spearmen. The Dalian spearmen one-on-one would probably lose to my upgraded Gondor spearmen, but they should still do a good job of holding as well as protecting from incoming skirmish fire, because of course the Lake Town pikemen do not have very good armor whatsoever. He's got one unit here of the Lake Town bowmen who have actually been changed. They're not quite archers, they're more of an in-between, they're more kind of like a hybrid between an archer and an infantry unit, because they don't really have much ammo. I think it's only like 4 or 5 volleys-ish. But they do have a shield, so they can withstand skirmish fire pretty well. He's getting the civilians up here to protect them, and some are hidden around here. I believe he has a unit of the Greenwood Lumbermen, of course a low-tier Axe AP unit that should do good against my own Gondor heavily armored roster. And the final army we've got here today is going to be Arthedain, commanded by Lord Griffiths. He's got a couple units here of the Arthedain Marksmen. He's got 2 units, I believe, of the Dunedain Peacekeepers, who previously were spearmen, but are now actually a unit that has a one-handed axe and a shield. His main line consists of Arthedain pikemen mixed in with the cheap Evendim spears. Pretty standard Arthedain front line, I should say, although he's also got some new Mousegate Guards in here to provide some morale support. He's got the Wardens of the North, of course, AP, multiple HP bodyguard unit. Doesn't really need much of an explanation. He's got 1 unit of the Dismounted Knights of Numas, as well as some actual mounted Knights of Numas up here. But that'll pretty much do it for the army comps. We can go ahead and start the battle off itself. You can see it's not terribly long. Oh, going to be a little bit laggy though, unfortunately. My PC's been having a few issues recently. But it should relax here before too long. Over here you can see that my ally FFA Muffins is rushing over to kind of get a little bit closer to myself, because of course playing as Rohan, his infantry isn't going to be the sturdiest in the world, so he's going to be trying to come a little bit closer to me so I can give him some support, and he will also be able to support me of course as well. Meanwhile down here you can see that Anarius is moving his cavalry around here, although FFA Muffins does have his horse archers here to harass the enemy cavalry of Dol Amroth, which it looks like that is exactly what FFA Muffins is going to be doing here. Rushing forward with his Eastmark horse archers and his red shields of Erkenbrand. Probably not going to be able to do a ton of damage against these heavily armored Dol Amroth cavalrymen, but they should do decently. And against the Paired Hill Riders, although the Paired Hill Riders do have better armor, with both units of horse archers here, Rohan probably will win that skirmish fight if nothing drastic happens. Although speaking of drastic, you can see the Knights of the Silver Swan see that the Eastmark horse archers are a little bit too close, so it looks like Anarius is going to go for a bold charge here, going to charge headlong into the Eastmark horse archers, who are going to try to scurry away, but looks like they might still get caught. Yep, looks like the charge of the Knights of the Silver Swan, oh, never mind, I take it back. The Eastmark horse archers were just barely able to get away, and now the poor Knights of the Silver Swan are going to be getting shot to pieces by both units of these horse archers, although they do have good armor and a decent shield value, so they should be able to deal with that skirmish fire decently well. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on with the lag. I'll try to figure something out really quickly. Alright, I think that might have helped it a little bit. But anyway, the Knights of the Silver Swan now going to be trying to charge into the Red Shields of Erkenbrand. Charge going to be a little bit more effective there, catching a few of them. But looks like, for the most part, most of that horse archer unit is going to be able to escape. And again, this whole time, the Knights of the Silver Swan are getting pelted by arrows. Meanwhile, Rohan is getting a little bit closer to my own lines. And you can see I've pushed up a unit of my Gondor archers up here as well. Going to be not skirmishing immediately with Dale, because Dale, as a human faction, can skirmish very, very well. Of course, Gondor archers do have good armor, especially with both armor upgrades, although I am very much outnumbered in terms of archers. I've only got 2 units of standard archers and 1 unit of rangers, whereas Dale here has, I think, 2 Dalian marksmen, a Laketown bowman, and some Blackshot dragon slayers. So he's moving some units around here. There goes his Greenwood lumberman. Meanwhile, up here looks like we have actually missed a little bit of action. You can see the Grey Company actually looks like Lord Griffiths has gone down to only 20 men remaining. Although it looks like it was rather costly for Engsfits to do that, as Coldfell Maiden's down to 63 on this unit, so still healthy, but this one over here only down to 23 men remaining. Although the Arthurian marksmen are also taking some casualties here. Looks like the skirmish fight between him and Engsfits has started. Ooh, and the Coldfell Maiden's going in here for a daring charge right into the Arthurian marksman. We're going to have to run away quickly as the Knights of Anuminas give chase here. Oh, and it looks like that's going to be it for the Coldfell Maidens routing in the face of those very fearsome Knights of Arthedain. Although there are some more Coldfell Maidens up here, maybe going to be in range to throw their javelins, although probably not quite yet. Grey Company going to be trying to shoot their BP arrows into the Coldfell Maidens. Going to be pretty effective at dealing with those Coldfell Maidens with the range advantage they have there. And over here you can see I'm going to be charging forward here with my unit of Pinnith Galen Cavalry. Was going to go after the archers, but I saw the civilians going here anyway, so I decided to just go ahead and charge into the civilians. Regardless, because civilians do not really have a bonus against cavalry, so that you can see the civilians going down in pretty significant numbers there to that AP Lancer charge. Although I'm going to have to retreat quickly, as you can see Laketown Pikes and Dalian Spearmen given pursuit. You can see some Dalian Marksmen probably going to open up some arrows on my cavalry, as well as there's some Dalian Cavalry and some Earls coming back around as well. Going to go in for another charge here, because why not? I saw that he was not quite close enough with his spearmen to do anything about it, so I went ahead and charged once again. Also, I should probably mention that I am using my body-piercing rangers, or at least I will be doing that shortly, to fire on this very thick block of pikemen and spearmen to try and deal as much damage as possible. And you can see the arrows coming in now. So the civilians down to about half the unit remaining. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Meanwhile, looks like some Sons of Yorl are still just moving around here. Looks like the Knights of the Silver Swan down to 17, Parrot Hill Riders at 39. And you can see Dol Amroth is making his way over to his ally Dale as well, because you can see that Rohan is very close to my own lines. And you can see his entire cavalry contingent behind those Gondor Silver Boys. But yeah, pretty cool battle so far. Just pretty standard skirmish and cavalry engagements as far as everything is concerned currently. Although up here, see some more action going on. You can see the Grey Company and Knights of Anuminas still trying to deal with the Coldfell Maidens of Engsfits. Actually, I'll speed up to normal speed now. Actually, I'm going to pause it for just 1 second. I'll be right back. Someone's knocking on my door. Alright, I'm back now. Anyway, still Engsfits just trying to harass his enemy as much as possible, get in as many early casualties as he can. See my Rangers firing now on this very thick line of Dalian units. And again, because my Rangers are up there on that hill, it's going to be rather difficult for Steel unit to return fire. You can see the BP really doing its work there, taking out a number of those Laketown Pikemen. This unit's already down to 101, whereas the other ones, I believe, are at 182. Spearmen are at 135. They're going to be able to withstand those arrows a little bit better. They've got better armor and a shield. And down here you can see Dol Amroth is still just moving around as best he can. Well, there are some horse archers of Rohan over here. Maybe going to try to go for a charge into the backs of these Edhelm men-at-arms. Yep, gonna go for, well, never mind, I take it back. I'm going to retreat here, just trying to empty as many arrows into the Dolander forces as possible. Meanwhile, some Greenwood lumbermen, oh actually he's got 2 of them, still moving around. And I am going to be trying to use my Gondor archers to try to target these Greenwood lumbermen, because the lumbermen, of course, have no shields and very poor armor. So my Gondor archers, although they're not the best archers in terms of damage, they will be able to inflict a pretty good amount of casualties on these lightly armored Greenwood lumbermen. Especially because the lumbermen are pretty scary because of their AP damage and good charge. They would be able to do a number to units like my Gondor infantry and Gondor spearmen. So I want to try to deal with them as quickly as possible. Of course, the Barding Herd are in the same category. Dalian Marksmen going to be returning fire now, trying to target down my Gondor archers, as well as maybe target some of my Axemen of Lossarnock who are here with my spearmen. Although the Axemen of Lossarnock shouldn't take too many casualties because, of course, they're being protected by the shielded spearmen here in the same line. Rangers of Ithilien waiting. Meanwhile, up here, looks like Engsfits still has 41 Coldfell Maidens as well as his Horrendine Nobles. Rudar Clansmen and some archers trying to go around here, the flank, to try to get the advantage of the field, although the Wardens of the North are doing the same, and they are being protected by the Knights of Numinos, so Engsfitz will probably find it hard to push over here. Although if he can, it might be worthwhile, because this is of course the General's unit, so if he's able to snipe Arthedain's General, it would be definitely a very, very good thing for him. Let's see what else is going on. The skirmish phase is relatively long, but then again, that's usually how things go. You can see lots of bodies here from all of the BP arrows. Definitely my Rangers doing a very good job, and they still have ammo left. Dalian Marksman still firing. Back here, you can see that the Red Shield of Erkenberry, down to only 6 men remaining, going to be sitting here and just trying to use their last remaining arrows as best they can. It looks like Parrot Hill Riders are also firing, probably at these Eastmark Horse Archers. Oh, Dismounted Knights of the Silver Swan. Did not see these guys, actually. Multiple HP Sword and Shield Infantry unit. Probably not best to charge them out here by themselves, though, because something like the Sons of Yorl will be able to take out half or more than half of this unit just because of one good charge. Looks like F.A. Muffins was going to maybe do that, but looks like Inarius was able to retreat this very expensive unit back to his lines before that happened. Oh, he actually looks like he's also got his own Rangers here, the Wardens of Nimrodel. So lots of BP here today. I guess not lots, but, you know, a decent amount. You can see already the Lake Town Bowmen are out of ammo, by the way. And I've got my Mithrander's Retinue Bodyguard moving around as well, because you can actually see, I believe Lord Griffiths was trying to send a unit of Arthedain Marksmen over here to try to skirmish down my Rangers of Athelion, who were really giving Dale a tough time. But I was able to see this, and I'm going to be able to try and charge down these Arthedain Marksmen with my Mithrander's Retinue Bodyguard. And I'm not particularly scared of any consequences, because the Knights of Numinos are not anywhere around here, and he doesn't have any Spearmen around here as well. The only thing that is going to be maybe giving me a tough time are probably these Parrot Hill Riders. I also, of course, have to be careful of incoming skirmish fire from the Morquindi Bows and the Dalian Marksmen. But because the Mithrander's Retinue Bodyguard has good armor, shield, and multiple hit points, they should be able to withstand normal arrows pretty well. A nice charge there right into the Arthedain Marksman, who didn't even give any resistance in the form of a volley of arrows. Going to pull back a little bit and then go back in. Just try to cycle charge as much as possible to try to really punish Lord Griffiths here for sending out a unit of archers unattended. Meanwhile, up here you can see some more action is going on. Arthedain Marksman at 71, Wardens of the North at 50, Knights of Numinos is still at 31. You can see Engsfitz charging some Rudar Clansmen actually, trying to chase down these Arthedain Marksmen. You know, up here the Coldfield Man's at 29, 15, and his Hirundine Nobles are still at 33. Down here, yeah, you can see the poor Arthedain Marksman down to 77. Going to pull back now as these Parrot Hill Riders are advancing, as well as some other archer units that could probably start to punish my men. And over here, Rohan is still just engaging in a skirmish fight with Dol Amroth. I don't believe Dol Amroth really brought any foot archers besides his rangers, so he's not going to be. He's basically just going to have to sit here and take whatever arrows Rohan decides to shoot at him. But yeah, these poor Arthedain Marksmen, down to only 77 men remaining, going to be trying to pull back now. And meanwhile, you can see Rohan's cavalry is starting to move around a little bit. But besides that, nothing much is really happening. You can see the lines are slowly creeping towards each other. Rohan actually pushing forward here with his Britomart archers, trying to get into a better position to fire at more susceptible units to archer fire. Pushing forward his Eastmark Spearmen here as well. Again, Gondor archers trying to focus down the lightly armored units like these Greenwood Lumbermen. And looks like Engsfitz as well is actually pushing forward very hard here. Got a lot of his units rushing forward. He's got some Fordrim Javelins coming out of hiding as well as some Edmore's Trollhunters coming forward. Rudar Swordsmen out here kind of by themselves. Oh, and back here you can see some more infantry fighting. Rudar Swordsmen with Clansmen surrounding this unit of Peacekeepers. And back here, Hirundine Nobles trying to chase on the Wardens of the North, but are being closely followed here by the Knights of Numinos. If the Knights of Numinos catch these Hirundine Nobles, it may mean the end of Engsfitz's general. Although, of course, it wouldn't be without a fight, because the Hirundine Nobles are AP in melee, so that would be very good against the heavily numbered Knights of Numinos. Again, Hirundine Nobles trying to run away from the Knights of Numinos, but also inflict as much damage as possible. I've got my Mithrander's retinue going to come in here to help out against Arthedain as well. I'll try to get a piece out of these Dunedain Peacekeepers. Again, no longer Spearmen, so they're going to be very susceptible to cavalry charges. There are the Knights of Numinos coming down here, though, so I'm going to have to be a little bit careful. Dunedain Troll Slayers coming out of hiding as well. And here we're going to get to see another good charge here by the Mithrander's Retinue Bodyguard right into those poor Dunedain Peacekeepers. But I'm going to have to instantly run away, because you can see the Knights of Numinos in close pursuit. Meanwhile, you can actually see that both Dale and Dol Amroth are now rushing forward with their whole line. You can see that entire line moving forward now. And the pikemen are actually moving a little bit in front of the spears, which is going to allow my archers to wreak havoc along to those lightly armored units. See all of Dale and Dolomarth rushing forward into the fray here. And this is where it's going to be pretty tricky, I think, for Rohan, because like I said, he doesn't have good infantry, so he's going to have to really rely on his cheap javelins to take out a lot of these pikes and other heavily armored units, and then really, of course, heavily rely on his cavalry over here. You can see Sons of Errol actually really struggling here, getting double teamed by both of the Knights of Dolomarth here, so really not good for Engstfits, or FA Muffins rather, sorry. I'm going to probably use this very expensive Knight unit. Yeah, down to only 8 men remaining. It looks like they actually just routed as well, so very unfortunate for FA Muffins, but a good play by Anarius there. You can see FA Muffin's going to be able to punish his enemy pretty heavily here with his javelins and axe throwers here. But again, very unfortunate loss for FA Muffins, losing those Sons of Arrow like that. You can see the infantry crushing through this poor Rohan line, and it's going to be like that for the foreseeable future. Although you can see the cavalry of Rohan is still very healthy for the most part. Dolomarth still slowly, Dale, sorry, slowly making his way forward. I've got my Mithrander's retinue bodyguard back here. I'm going to try to get a charge into the Greenwood Lumbermen. Again, they're not spears or pikes or halberds or anything, so it's going to be a good charge here. Charging straight into those poor militia tier units. And get a good amount of kills there as well. And you can see I'm going to be also rushing forward with my infantry, my axemen and spearmen. Going to do a good amount of damage here against the pikes and spears. I'm going to follow that up with my own AP Fountain Guard as well as my Gondor infantry here as well. You can see things are really starting to heat up now. You can see Dale running around as well. You can see First Marshal's bodyguard in the back lines charging to the susceptible units like the Edhelm Men-at-Arms. Dismounted Knights are there fighting as well. Ooh, these Guards of Cobus Haven and Paradale Champions really just crushing through this flank, although they are getting skirmished down now. And there's also a bunch of cavalry running around now. Knights of Cobus Haven down to 16, and the other Knight unit down to 12. But the Meduseld Guard is also down to 36 now, so that's probably going to be the end of that unit. You know, you can see the infantry fight has now begun between myself and Dale. Got a lot of axemen and spears against pikes and spears. My Fountain Guard and infantry, I'm going to push my Fountain Guard in right away because the Fountain Guard are going to be really key in dealing with things like Earls as well as Barding Herd. You can see everything just progressing. Green Lumberman routing after a lot of charges. My Mithrandu's Retinue, my Pinnace Galen trying to go after the archers now. I've also got my Nimlothian Honor Guard here. Multiple HP unit, of course, on the flank. Gonna maybe be enough to rout these units here, especially with some more Found Guard in the background. My Rangers of Ithilien are out of ammo, so I'm going to rush them down here where it looked like I was going to need a little bit of extra support. And of course, Rangers are a little bit better than normal archers in melee, but of course they have worse armor. Pinnace Galen Cavalry charging straight into this backline here. Not going to be enough to rout any of these units, but going to be able to get some good damage in nevertheless. With the Rangers Retinue doing the same. After getting some good charges into the archers, you can see the Cavalry of Steel unit is all trying to give chase to my men here. He's still got Barding Herd, some archers, he's still got Dragon Slayers as well. Dragon Slayers are by no means bad in melee. Riddermark Cavalry routing now. You can see I'm kind of struggling a bit here. And Dolomarth is starting to peter out. You can see the numbers of Rohan starting to work in his favor a little bit, although he is starting to struggle here in this flank. Yeah, with all the elites and such. It looks like a lot of the cavalry of both Rohan and Dolomarth has now gone over. There's some more back there. And if we go back up here, you can see that the fight between... actually, I'll slow it down a bit. The fight between Engstfits and Arthean is really progressing. You can see Engstfits is really kind of rolling up this whole flank here, although there are pockets of Arthean forces around here, like the Knights of the Numenos and such. There's some Numenos Gate Guards going up as well, but that is going to leave his center open. And yeah, just Engstfits doing a really good job at really distracting his enemy and fighting in all kinds of different places. Meanwhile, over here you can see that I am starting to win the skirmish fight, or the infantry fight, at least for the time being, but there are some more reinforcements coming. Over here, actually, you can see I've got my Nimlothian Honor Guard, Gondor Archers are out of ammo, as well as my cavalry chasing after the Dalian Cavalry. And you can see some more reinforcements coming in here for Dale as well, which is good because you can see I'm really starting to break through this Dale infantry line as we speak. Although, over here, he's still got a lot of units, and Rohan is just about finished for the most part. He's got some Helmingast left, but again, Dolomarth still has a pretty hefty force, especially because they've got some elites, like the Dismounted Knights and the Guards of Cobus Haven. Although, Riddermark Cavalry are going to get a good charge right into those dismounted Knights of the Silver Swan, taking out a pretty good portion of them. Back here, there is still some Belfast Marines, there's some Riddermark Cavalry, but they're probably going to get killed by these remnants of elite cavalry from Dolameroth. Still a decent amount of Parrot Hill Riders. Just a really chaotic battle so far. I'm going to be putting a unit of Gondor infantry here to just prevent anything from coming around my flank. As you can see right here, there's still a lot of Dalian forces. Got my Rangers in the fight now. And over here, you can see I'm starting to get broken through a little bit there. There's also the Blackshot Dragon Slayers in melee. They're going to be doing not so great against my Fountain Guard, but still that's a very scary force that I'm going to have to do some pretty different things to try to deal with. I was able to deal with most of the Dalian Cavalry. All the Earls are now dead. The Dalian Cavalry is getting run down. Going to be able to bring my Nimlothian Honor Guard back into the fight, as well as use my remaining Penithgalen Cavalry and Mithrandu's Retinue Bodyguard to charge into archers, as well as into this back infantry line. Riddermark Cavalry routing, unfortunately, for FFA Muffins, although elsewhere he's still doing pretty well. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. Not pretty well. Pretty well, all things considered, is what I should say. He's still at least holding up Dol Amroth long enough for me to continue doing damage to Dale. Back here, Dol Amroth rather, still has Wardens of Nimrodel. Gondor archers running around, coming back into the fight as well. And over here you can see things are getting really, really chaotic. Arthedain trying to make a stand, but they're really just in pockets all over the place, so they're really not being able to do as much as they really could. You can see Engsfitz was really able to confuse his enemy just by maneuvering all the way around him, really. And so it looks like these Enmor's Trollhunters and the other Javelins of Engsfitz are going to be able to deal enough damage to Arthedain. You can see there goes Arthedain's general, and with that, it looks like that's going to be probably the end of Arthedain. Although he did definitely put up a good fight, there's not a ton of units remaining to Engsfitz. A lot of them are pretty low tier as well. Meanwhile, over here, my Mithrandu's Retinue Bodyguard still charging around where they can. Gondor archers trying to silence the Morquendi bows. Over here, got my Nimlothian Honor Guard just crushing down this flank here, dealing with the last of these spearmen. But there are still some more Barding Herd. AP Barding Herd are going to be pretty hard to deal with for Gondor. Although, of course, I do have my Fountain Guard here, who are going to be more than a match for the Barding Herd. I've also got my Penithgalen Cavalry pinging in between the Blackshot Dragon Slayers and some Wardens of Nimrodel that are over there. You can see I'm slowly starting to continue to win this fight, although Dol Amroth has just about finished up with the remains of Rohan's infantry. Well, you can see he is definitely not looking too good himself. He does not have many men remaining to him, although he does have some elites like the Guards of Cobus Haven and the other ones. And there goes Dale's general. I was able to kill him with a charge from Mithrandu's Retinue Bodyguard, and that is going to be enough to probably rout at least a decent amount of these units over here. You can see a lot of them are wavering and a lot of them are shaking. Dalian Spearmen routing there. Gondor archers trying to send the Morquendi bows. Ooh, yep, there's a lot. Look at all that routing right there. It's basically perfect timing too. The last of Dale's infantry on this flank routed right as Dol Amroth was beginning to charge into, so I was just able to kind of set up a bit of a line to begin to face the last of Dol Amroth's forces. Though Dol Amroth still does have a decent amount of cavalry himself. He's got Paired Hill Riders chasing down some Riddermark Cavalry. He's also still got his elite units over here chasing down my Mithrandu's Retinue Bodyguard. Looks like the Morquendi bows are routing now. Over here some more Dalian infantry routing. And that's going to pretty much be it for the line battle between Dale and Gondor. And now we've got the last of Dol Amroth to deal with, as well as some cavalry. Especially because over here you can see that just about by now everything from Arthedain is pretty much gone. He's still got some Evendim Spears and some Dunedain Troll Slayers who should be able to put up a pretty good fight. But in the long run, it's not going to be enough to defeat what's left from Arthedain, or from Broodhour, sorry. And these dismounted Knights of Annûmanas should do pretty good for themselves, but again, here comes some Edmur's Trollhunters, so as soon as they get in range, these dismounted Knights of Annûmanas are just going to get absolutely javelined to death. Over here, still just trying to chase down routing units. Riddermark Cavalry from FFA Muffins is still active. Nimlothian Honor Guard running around as well. I'm trying to get my Nimlothian Honor Guard around here to try to deal with the last elite cavalry from Dol Amroth, because you can see, even though there's not many of them left, they're still doing a really pretty significant amount of damage to my forces over here. Meanwhile, Dol Amroth and Gondor, once allies, now enemies, are fighting. You can see he's still got some pretty scary units in here, like the Guards of Cobus Haven, really carving their way through my mid-tier units. I believe there might be some of the Sword and Shield infantry, or Sword and Shield elite over here as well. Yeah, I got some Axeman Lost charging into the Knights of Cobus Haven. Not going to be able to do super great. With Rendir's retinue down to 14. Gonna have to get them out from those pikes unless I want to lose them. Again, trying to chase down the Dol Amroth Cavalry with my multiple HP spear unit here. Meanwhile, back here we've got some Paired Hill Riders, some Dalian units. It looks like way back here we've actually got some Riddermark Cavalry as well. And over here I've got some Gondor infantry that I kind of let just chase down some units to make sure they didn't come back. And I'll pretty shortly be able to turn them around over here to go after the Dalian marksmen as well as the Wardens of Nimrodel. Looks like the Penithgalen Cavalry is just about done for now. Knights of Cobus Haven at 6. The Erythrim of Dol Amroth at 6 as well. My poor Gondor infantry facing the wrong way. Going to take a lot of casualties because of that. But I've got enough units to spare. I've got mine in Nimrodel Honor Guard. I've still got a very large chunk of my Fountain Guard remaining. Gondor Spearmen, Gondor Archers. Got a few Axemen maybe here and there, but again, they were fighting pretty much the whole time, so they're going to be pretty exhausted even if there are any left. Looks like that's pretty much it for Dale and Arthedain. You can see, yeah, or I think that was actually Arthedain that just lost all of his forces, because you can see Engsfit's moving, making his way down here now. And you can see my Mithrandir's retinue going to be able to get a charge off here into the few remaining Wardens of Nimrodel. And my Gondor infantry over here are going to be able to charge into the last of these Dalian marksmen and deal with them pretty effectively. Meanwhile, the cavalry, the last remaining cavalry of Dol Amroth has been caught now, fighting against some archers as well as my Nimlothian Honor Guard. Not going to last long against the Nimlothian Honor Guard. Oh, and actually looks like F.A. Muffin's general is still alive. Yep, there he is in the 1st Marshal's bodyguard, of which there are 3 men remaining. 6 Knights of Cobus Haven, 6 Erythrim of Dol Amroth, so those guys, again, very, very sturdy. And over here, looks like taking some last javelins from those Belfast Marines. But yeah, over here, looks like the Parrot Hill Champions are routing. Dismounted Knights of the Silver Swan are thinking about routing. Guards of Cobus Haven are down to 17, so slowly but surely this last contingent of Dol Amroth infantry will be cut down. Meanwhile, the cavalry of Dol Amroth still trying to just get as many last-minute kills as possible. Back here, looks like that's going to be the end of the archers, although there are some Parrot Hill Riders over here. The Gondor infantry, of course, are going to struggle against cavalry, but with the help of the Raremark cavalry, as well as my own Mithrandir's retinue bodyguard, we should be able to cut down the last of these Parrot Hill Riders, as long as they don't try to run away and skirmish us down some more. That's pretty much going to be the end of this battle. Very close. Well, not super close, but pretty close. Good for a test patch battle anyway. 71% to 95%. Dol Amroth and Rohan really canceled each other out. Engsfits and Arthedain had a pretty close match. And myself and Dale also had a very nice match in addition to that. Knights of Cobus Haven and Erythrim of Dol Amroth charging into my Spearmen here. Not going to be a great decision, but again, they'll be able to get some last-minute kills here because of that. AP Axemen coming in here as well. Fountain Guard are also moving in. And that'll be the end of Inarius's Dol Amroth cavalry. And see, just look at all the bodies because of the line battle. That was actually a really nice line battle between myself and Dale. It was just a huge line all the way from here all the way up there. Very, very long line battle. I always like line battles like that. They're always really fun. Or interesting, I should say. Not really that, well, it's kind of interesting, I guess you could say. It's cool to look. It's cool to look at and cool to watch, but it's not the most interesting. It's not really micro-intensive, you could say. You can see Engsfitz's remaining Rudauer units pushing down the hill here to try and help out with the roundup of the few remaining enemies. You can see the Parrot Hill Riders routing, Mithrandir's retinue giving chase. 11 of them remaining, and my general is still alive, so they definitely did their job. I definitely think it's always worthwhile to give armor upgrades, as well as attack upgrades in most situations, to pretty much everything on the Gondor roster, because armor upgrades only cost 25 when playing as Gondor, which is very nice. Gondor infantry pretty healthy. We got our marksmen around here as well. I think I might even have some rangers somewhere around here. Yeah, I've still got 15 Philian rangers, so they did good as well. There must still be some Cobus Haven champions around here. Oh, 3 Medusel Guard around as well. Can't see. Oh, looks like that's going to be it. So yeah, very good battle. Big thank you to all of the players involved in this one. It was very, very fun. I guess I could speed it up. There we go. So I was able to get 2,200 kills. F.A. Muffins got 1,200. Engsfits got 1,700. Lord Grievous got 1,200. Steelian got 956. And Inarius got 1,757. I actually got a decent amount of prisoners there as well. I didn't notice that. Mithrandir's retinue doing very good, getting 308. Penithgalen Cavalry not doing bad either. My Gondor archers actually did surprisingly well. I think that's mainly because I wasn't using them to shoot at the Dalian archers, but I was more using them to shoot at pikemen and Greenwood lumbermen, so they just kind of racked up kills that way. Rangers of Ithilien doing very, very well, firing at those blobbed up pikemen and spears. Axemen of Lossernach with both armor upgrades and an attack upgrade, getting 168, 140, 132. Gondor infantry not getting very many kills, but then again, I didn't put them into the fight until the very end, and they actually did have a lot of men remaining as well. Gondor spearmen didn't get very many kills, but again, they did do their job. They held the line, and they were able to ward off some cavalry. Fountain Guard getting decent kills, I guess you could say, but again, there were also a good amount of them remaining at the end of the battle as well. And the Northern Honor Guard also getting 116 kills, with I believe around 50 men remaining. But yeah, that'll be pretty much the end of this one, so I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, please comment, like, and subscribe. If you did not, just tell me what I did wrong, and I'll be sure to fix it in the next one. So farewell wherever you fare, till your arrows receive you, at your journey's end.